G'day everybody, it's the Christian Footballer back here for day 7 of my week as a pro, and today is recovery day. So let's see what we're up to. So to start off the day, I'll have some scrambled eggs with some strawberry flavoured Greek yogurt and a banana. Okay guys, so for this segment of Football Facts and Ideas, I'm going to be going on about a heap of recovery stuff. I'm not going to be going real deep into any of it, but I have videos linked below for each and every one of the topics I'm going to be covering. If you want to dig deeper, I'll just be scratching the surface of each of these things, just to give you guys an overall picture of this whole recovery process and what the pros do to recover. And just to clarify, when I say recover, I don't mean recovering from injury, more so recovering from training, games, workouts, just the process that's allowing the muscles to heal so that they can get back into the next training session, next game, workout, whatever it is, fully strengthened and ready to perform. So the first thing I want to talk about in the recovery stage, and this is something you'll do more maybe once a week during a set aside recovery day. This is a day you don't do any hard exercises, you just set aside a day for recovery. This is something you do during that day, and it's light exercise. So this is something just to get blood flowing through the muscles, because your muscles aren't going to heal without blood, and it's just something just to get you moving, get that mobility in. Some great things for this is jogging, bike riding and swimming are also very good for this because they're very low impact exercises. And what I mean by this is when you're bike riding or swimming, your joints aren't going through a whole heap of impact, so it also allows your joints to have a rest and recover as well. Now I'm going to talk about some slightly more extreme things that pros especially will do to recover, and then on the more high-tech side with the latest science and all that, you've got hyperbaric chambers, cryotherapy and pneumatic therapy. And I hope I'm saying all those names right, but I'll just tell you what each of those are, and if you want to go a little bit deeper into that, I have a video linked below like I said before. So basically ice baths, pretty self-explanatory. This is quite popular even amongst non-pro players. If you just sore or something, ice baths are really good for reducing that muscle soreness. So that's the main purpose that ice baths are used for. With massages, it's the same sort of thing, trying to ease that soreness, give you a bit more mobility, just to speed up that process to get ready for the next training session or game or whatever else you're getting ready to do. Hyperbaric chamber is basically a chamber of compressed oxygen, and oxygen is crucial in the healing process for your body. And so when you're put in this compressed chamber of oxygen, your body gets a heap of oxygen in it, and it's been shown to really speed up the recovery time. Now cryotherapy and pneumatic therapy are a little bit more complex, so I won't go too deep into them, but like I said, they are in the video below, which is done by a pro soccer player. He's doing a recovery day and he's going and doing all these different recovery things. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can go watch that video. I'm sure you can dive much deeper into this sort of thing, but for the average player and the average person, you're not really going to be doing this on a weekly basis or even a monthly basis. With all that said, the next thing I want to talk about is something that a lot of players do, not just pros, but this is just stretching, foam rolling, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about heat. Now stretching is really good to enhance mobility, and it's something that you want to be doing after intense exercise or after a game, because you'll find that usually after a hard game or a hard workout, your muscles will seize up. You might sit in the car on a drive home and then it's just really hard to move once you're out. So a good stretch helps with this, and it helps bring that mobility back and keeps your muscles from tensing up too much. Now foam rolling is a bit different. Its main purpose is to reduce muscle soreness, much like a massage. Actually, foam rolling is in itself sort of a self-done massage. To get the most out of your foam rolling, what you want to be doing is focusing on the muscles that are sore, the muscle groups that are sore, those little areas that are really tense. As long as it's not injured, you don't want to be rolling over and over an injured muscle. You have to be able to tell the difference between whether it's injured or whether it's sore. And usually a good way to do that is if it's sore on both legs, then that's a good way to tell it's just muscle soreness. If it's just on one leg, well, it might be an injury, but just be careful with that. But it's just really good to get into that deep tissue, just roll those muscles out. And again, it's just reducing that muscle soreness. And it also does help bring a bit of blood flow in as well, which helps with the healing process. The next thing I want to talk about here is heat. And this is something I've been using through the whole week of trying to live as a pro. What I basically do is get a heat pack, heat it up, and just rest it on any muscles that are sore. So for instance, when I was doing deadlifts, the lower back muscles around that area get a bit sore, a little bit tense. So what I do, I just lie it on my back. After the workout, during the night while we were just chilling, I just put that on my back or on my legs if my legs were sore. And the thing is with heat brings blood to the muscles. And so I actually found it really helpful. I did not do this in my first week of trying to live as a pro, and I noticed a very big difference. I was able to recover from training sessions and workouts much quicker. I was able to get into the next day without being nearly as sore, and I think that played a really big part in it, just in helping with the healing process. Now the thing with this is you don't want to be lying on the heat pack, because the whole purpose of this is to bring blood to the muscles, and if you lie on the heat pack, you're cutting off circulation to those muscles. So it's best to lie down and put the heat pack on top of you, just let it rest on there, and that'll bring the heat to your muscles and just help with the recovery. The last couple of things I want to talk about is eating, sleep, and routine. So I'm just going to go over eating first. So obviously after a big workout or a big game, you want to be getting protein in to help rebuild the muscle. It can also be good to get some carbohydrates in just to renew your energy source. There is a time period after the workout that is best to consume this food in, and it's calculated to be anywhere from right after the workout to about 2 hours after the workout. That's the best time to get that food in. It doesn't matter too much if you don't get it in there, but it is important after your workout at some stage to get good food into yourself to help rebuild those muscles. Now sleep. I have talked about this before during this week. If you haven't seen that little Football Facts and Ideas segment, I will link the video that I do that segment in below. It's about midway in the video, but a better option would probably be another video I have linked below that talks about sleep cycles and how to get a better quality sleep, how the pros do it, and some different aspects like that. And of all the things here, I think this is something that's really worth incorporating into your everyday life, especially if you're somebody that does athletic activities, because this is the most important aspect of recovery. Sleep is the most important aspect. It's when your body rebuilds, it's when your body recovers. If you can get a good quality sleep and a good amount of sleep, then that's going to do wonders for your recovery more than any of these other things is going to do. And another thing I want to say is with sleep, you want to take things into consideration like your lifestyle and the activities you do. For me, I have a fairly physical job, and then on top of that I like to work out, do training, and then obviously have soccer games, sometimes go for bike rides as well. So all around I consider myself pretty active. So for me, I like to get a good amount of sleep in, probably 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep. For me, that's what I consider to be ideal. Now 9 hours may be pushing it a bit much. That would only be if I'm really starting to feel tired or something like that. But 7.5's a good number for me. I've found that I can function comfortably with that. But the point is just take that all into consideration, how active you are. If your job is on a computer, you do IT or something like that, you're not that active, and maybe you just have soccer on the side, you do a bit of training, then maybe you may not need as much sleep, but just take these things into consideration and try and set aside a decent amount of time to sleep. And finally, the weekly routine. Now, if you're somebody that likes to train 4, 5, 6 days a week, maybe even 7 days a week if you're very extreme about it, then I would very much encourage that you structure your week so you can have a recovery day. Again, this is only applicable to people that are doing loads of activity and every day they're wanting to train or work out or do some physical activity, and this is just a day that you allow your body to recover, obviously, and you may do things like have a big stretching session in there, you might have a decent foam rolling session, you might do some light exercise like I was saying at the beginning of this segment, go for a bike ride, go for a swim, a jog, something like that. But it's a day that you'll focus on just letting your muscles recover, and generally this would be after your game, because that's usually the most intense form of exercise you're going to be doing during the whole week. It's where everything comes together, you want to give your all, and you're likely to be very sore afterwards, so it's good to have a day off after that, just recover. If you don't play soccer, you don't have a game or something like that, then it would be after your hardest day. Again, I have a video down below done by a pro soccer player. It's his weekly routine, and during the beginning he talks about how his days are structured, and you'll see that there's a rest day in there. You'll also see where he puts his hardest days just to get the most out of it. Generally, you'll have your hardest days before and after your recovery day, but yeah, I just really suggest having a recovery day if you're somebody that does a heap of physical exercise. So that's it for this segment, guys. I hope you found it helpful, and of course, if you are interested in diving deeper into any of the subjects I've talked about here, please go down into the description, and I've got a heap of videos there that dive deeper into these areas of recovery. But that's enough from me, back into the video. So guys, for lunch I had some turmeric flavoured brown rice with some wholemeal pita bread, some chicken breast and a bit of salad. For this last day of the week, I just picked the meals I enjoyed the most from the whole week. So for dinner, guys, I just had some salmon with some asparagus and sweet potato. Over the course of this day, the two main things I did was stretching and foam rolling, except with a ball. But I've showed you guys that stuff before, so I thought I'd do a longer football facts and ideas segment and just talk a little bit about different aspects of recovery, just to mix it up a little bit. But after eating dinner, I headed off to bed to get a good night's sleep for the big test the next day. Okay guys, I'm down here for the last session here at the park. It's not even a session, it's just the test sprint. We did it at the beginning of the week. I'm doing it again to see if there's been any improvement. Hopefully there has been, but I am now going to set up the cones at the distances that we did before, 20 meters, 40 meters and 100 meter sprints. And I'll get the camera set up. Let's see if this week paid off. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the Week as a Pro series part 2. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has dragged out a little bit longer than I intended, but now you're going to be seeing videos that were made a little more recently, and I'm looking forward to filming some new content. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. So this is something just to get blood flow. So this is something just to get blood. So this is something just to get. So this is something just to get blood flowing.